What's going on, everyone? This is Badass Review, and today I'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Odin Build-A-Figure Wave Hawkeye. I was really anticipating this figure a lot because I do not have a more classical looking Hawkeye. A lot of people are referring this to the Dark Avengers Hawkeye, which I guess you can, but at the same time, he looks kind of classic too. I know he's not super like how he looks for the Toy Biz version, but he's a little bit more of his older costume than the modern one, which I like that one too quite a bit. This one, I gotta say though, once it finally came out, I'm a little bit disappointed. Not really everything I was hoping it would, well, I mean, it was everything I was hoping it would be, but they switched up a couple things, and then there's some other issues that I have, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I mean, I like this figure a lot despite some of the issues. I mean, just the way he looks, I like the way he looks quite a bit because I like the colors of purple, and I like the body mold for him, the head sculpt. All that is really nice. The paint's very nice, so there's a lot of purple on him too, so that's no short abundance of that. But he's very nice looking. I like the head sculpt quite a bit. Paint is nice. The H is sculpted onto his head. The eyes, they kind of have this, they're kind of painted like he's kind of looking up more, which isn't too bad once you get him posed and stuff, but if you're kind of just looking at it, it's kind of like, well, he's always looking up at something. But it gets a lot of range of motion. The detail is quite nice of what there is. I feel like they could have maybe painted up the lips a little bit more to kind of distinguish that they're there, but nothing too serious. So yeah, we come down to his torso area. He has this very nice chainmail armor. It's not armor, but for his uniform, which is nice, and it's a separate piece which you can take off. It does kind of flop around. It doesn't flop around, but I mean, it does move around from time to time when you're posing him and all that, which kind of leads into one of my problems, which I'll get to in a second. He's got a normal arm over here, and then this is what they've changed on him since they first revealed him. They have taken the normal Bucky Cap arm off and decided to put it on the Winter Soldier on the Bucky Cap mold, which is actually kind of funny because that Bucky Cap mold is using the Winter Soldier arm, so it's kind of ironic. Anyways, I do have a problem with this, however, because it does make it very difficult for him to hold his bow and arrow. Not difficult as in like he can't hold it, but he doesn't hold it very well. And then the hand is just too small for the grip on the handle, as it is a little bit thicker. And I don't know if it's necessarily that or the way the hand is sculpted, because his hand kind of is out weird, and then the thumb doesn't really wrap around it like I would like it to. See, the thumb barely kind of grabs onto it, whereas you put it on this arm, obviously, as you can see, the hand's a little bit more clenched closed, and it's actually, you know, a bigger hand, which is another thing that's wrong with this. It's not very in proportion with the rest of his body, because his hand is extremely tiny on this one, and then it's also very thin in the forearms. So if this is supposed to look like a sleeve, it makes it look more like he does have a robotic arm, which is kind of weird. And it kind of makes it look like he is either a Winter Soldier character in itself, or he's just the Winter Soldier or something, if that makes any sense. But as you can see, the thumb wraps around this a little bit more, giving it a better grip. And, you know, many would say, why don't you just pose him like this? Well, the way I see it, Hawkeye usually uses his right arm, to fire his bow, which is how I like it. Not only that, but when I'm posing him, I like to have this little arrow, which you saw at the beginning, in between his fingers, which this is the only hand that can do that. So it's a minor complaint, really, because once you get him posed, it's fine. It's just kind of annoying that he doesn't hold it a little bit better. So I know it sounds like a major thing, but it's actually kind of minor, but maybe I'm just OCD. I guess another complaint I should talk about is the bows on the back. It doesn't peg in all the way, and it does peg in very snugly. The problem is his little chainmail accessory kind of gets in the way in the back here. As you can see, these two straps right here kind of get in the way of actually going into his back all the way. And since this thing kind of moves around, it kind of like wiggles this piece out, and then eventually it just ends up like falling out, which is also kind of annoying. Again, it's a minor thing because once you get imposed, it's not going to move around, but I think maybe I'm just finding it annoying because I don't want to have to like pop it in every single time that it pops out. It shouldn't pop out at all. And I know it's something that you can't really avoid, but I don't know. It's just something, like I said, maybe they could have made it a little bit longer peg to go in there. So, like I said, minor detail, but nothing too serious. Anyways, by the way, I like the purple on this. The arrows are actually nicely painted, which is nice. So that's nice. And then he comes with a movie Hawkeye bow, which we've been getting with Hawkeye ever since we got the movie series Hawkeye. So, nothing wrong with it, but then again, it's nothing like the Toy Biz version. Coming back to the arm, it's molded in it's like a metallic purple, but it's almost translucent. It looks kind of translucent up in his shoulder area, which I think is very nice. I love the way this looks. I just wish it was like, maybe a different hand would be more suitable, but then again, I would have been happy with just a painted purple arm like he was supposed to, but this is fine. The paint on this is all nice. If you take this off, really, this is pretty much where all the detail is going to be, because otherwise it's just a body with I would say a dark blue paint. Come down to his boots, bucky cap boots, which obviously look really good with this character. Painted blue, or purple, I mean, dark purple, so that's nice. Other than that, that's about it. There's not a whole lot of detail on them other than the purple areas, which I think this is really nice. These little squares here are all sculpted on. This is all sculpted here. So very nice. I don't have the modern one next to me at the moment, so I'm not going to compare them, but maybe I'll do a comparison video later on. But overall, a very nice figure. Let's go over articulation real quick. Head looks up and down, left and right. Arms can go in and out, rotate 360 degrees, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, rotation in the wrist as well as a hinge. He's got an ab crunch, which isn't very hindered by his little piece here, although for some reason I'm having problems with it. Maybe it is hindered. I thought it wasn't. I know you can move it a little bit, but it does kind of look funky when you do that, but it's still there. It may be a little bit hindered. I haven't had problems with it before, but now I seem to be having problems with it, so I don't know. Anyways, ab crunch, waist swivel, legs can go forward and back, in and out, rotate at the upper part of the thigh, double jointed knees, a rotation in the upper part of the boot, a hinge in the foot, and an ankle pivot. So, very nice. Lows articulation. One other problem I have, which is also very minor, but his legs are extremely kind of floppy. I've noticed this on a lot of the Bucky Cap figures as of late. For some reason it's just not like stiff up there or something. I don't know what the problem is, but his legs like wobble around, which is weird. I've noticed that Hasbro figures kind of have a weird problem with their legs. So yeah. Anyways, would I recommend picking this figure up? Yes. If you don't have a previous Hawkeye figure in a classic look, I would recommend it. And if you have the Dark Avengers set up and need the Hawkeye, then obviously you got to get that. It's overall a good figure. I just have some minor complaints that I thought I would just address because they kind of bother me, and I don't know if it's just it's a personal problem for me, but they're minor. I still think it's a great figure. Once he's posed and all that, he's great. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Check out more figure reviews and older figure reviews that I have already taken a look at. And thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.